100 people have been stabbed to death in the UK so far this year. That is according to new figures that have been obtained by BBC News from police forces right across the country.
The largest group of victims are men in their 20s, as our Home Affairs correspondent Tom Simons reports.
100 crime scenes, 100 lost lives. We've been tracking murder and manslaughter in Britain in 2019, and the knife is the most used murder weapon. Charlotte Huggins became 2019's first fatal stabbing victim on New Year's Day in South London. On average, there was a knife murder or manslaughter nearly every day and a half that followed. Each face represents a devastated family and an expensive murder inquiry. This is a crime disproportionately affecting young people. Nearly a third of victims were under 30. Nearly a fifth were under 20, and that's a huge worry for the police and youth workers. In the West Midlands, knife crime has risen by 96% since 2013, with 8 fatal knife attacks this year, along with Manchester and London, the highest rate in the country. Here, they say violent crime has moved beyond just those involved in gangs.
Some of this is around gangs, but it's across all people now, and we're seeing what used to be a small act of violence, perhaps a slap or a punch. We're very often seeing that turning into something far more serious.
But 2 promising signs. In 95 of the 100 cases, someone has been arrested. And in London, the Metropolitan Police recently released figures suggesting a 10% fall in knife crime, resulting in an injury. Tom Simons, BBC News.
Well, Byron Highton's brother, Jon-Jo, was just 18 when he was stabbed to death by a gang 5 years ago. And Byron joins us now in the studio. Morning to you.
Morning.
Morning.
I know you find it really important to share your story, to try and get it out there and educate people and explain. But can you put into words what's been the impact of you and the rest of the family losing your younger brother from a stabbing?
Basically, the best way to describe it to people, as I do in my talks, is that when you see someone you love killed in such a horrific way, and especially the way my brother was killed with the injuries, part of your soul gets ripped out. And I know that sounds a bit odd, and it's hard to explain because not everyone, and hopefully not everyone, gets to experience that pain. But that is the closest way of describing it, and I still haven't found that part that I lost that day, and I don't think I ever will at this point.
That's you and him. When you were much younger, you must look at pictures like that and think, you've been deprived of that future, that brotherly future together.
That's the first day I met him.
Oh, that's so lovely.
Oh, I don't like looking at it, to be fair.
What was the age difference between you two?
I'm not too sure, to be fair, off the top of my head, about 6, 7 years.
About 6, 7 years.
Yeah.
I mean, what kind of conversations did you have with him? Because he obviously, it came about he was attacked by 6 men who were convicted of stabbing him to death. What kind of situations was he in terms of what you were aware of?
He was killed by guilty of association. That was proven in court. He basically just finished work. He saw my mum, unfortunately, for the last time, and he never knew. He took his work clothes off, as you do. Mum put him in the wash, said bye. He went to the pub, he had 2 or 3 drinks, and then just decided to walk to his dad's, which was a couple hundred yards from where we live. And the car went past him because they saw my brother, not the people they were looking for. It was proven in court that they attacked him instead, and unfortunately he got stabbed in the neck with a sword.
And you talk to people now about, carrying knives. You talk to young people about this, and how did they react when you talk about? I mean, just by association.
Oh yeah, it's fantastic the work that we're doing at Safety Guide, because the BBC once asked in an interview, they asked a young adult why they choose to listen to me and Stuart and our team. Other than authorities, and this lad
the police?
Yeah, the police or such forth. And this man, this young adult, said it's because they feel the presence in the room. When I talk to these kids, it's not just someone saying you can't carry a knife, you can't do that. They feel my emotions. I mean, in one of our talks a few weeks ago in Manchester, we had 2 girls crying. We had one a high-up principal say it'd be a crime if I don't end up in every school around the country. And these are people coming up to me who I've never met before. I'm pouring my heart out to them, and then in return I'm getting I'm getting their heart back, and that's what, you know, I'm keeping my brother's name alive every single day. It puts a smile on my face for a change, you know.
Yeah.
It's amazing what we're doing. I love it.
The reason we're talking about this today with you is because the BBC's got these figures which says that already this year, here we are in the middle of May, and 100 people have died in fatal stabbings across the country so far this year. It's hard to know exactly kind of how that compares with other years, so we can't make any conclusions from that. But just that number, 100. After what you've been through, what does that make you feel today?
As I said to you before, even one, let alone the 2 zeros on the end of that, is too much. Because I've said this before, and it shocked me when I said it, really, because it just come out. Aaron had an interview on a radio station a few weeks ago, and he said, how does it make me feel, like that question? And I said, I wouldn't wish it on this pain on the people who actually killed my brother. That's how bad it is. I wish something else for them, as you can imagine, as we all would. But I would not wish them in their prison cells now how I feel, let alone how I think I feel, how my soldier of a mum feels. You know, I think that puts it into perspective. I wouldn't wish it on them. I'm
so sorry you're in this pain, but I think the work you're doing is changing lives.
I hope so, and we're getting the feedback. Again, it's Safety Guy, you know, we're doing this off our own backs. You know, we're a charity-run foundation. And I think we work so well because we're a team who all share the same passion. And they literally brought me on and said, Jon-Jo's your brother, go out into the world, tell everyone about him. And I never thought I'd get to do that, do you know what I mean?
Well, it's been great you doing it on the sofa with us today. Thank you so much, Byron.
But there'll be 100 families just from this year watching you this morning and appreciating your words.
Can I just quickly say, if anyone needs our help or wants us to go into the schools or to buy any of our merchandise, because everything goes back into the charity, just please visit www.safetyguide.co.uk, and I will be there at any school, any time, and I'll give you my all, my heart and soul.
All right. Well
Thanks,
done.
Byron.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.